Her affection slipped away not in a single dramatic moment, but bit by bit, like sand escaping a clenched fist. It wasn't the cinematic explosion of slammed doors or shouted farewells. Instead, it was a slow unraveling, a quiet erosion of what we once were. I felt her drift in the small things first. The way her texts stopped coming unprompted. The way her "I love you" carried a pause, as if she had to convince herself to say it. Her eyes, once alive with light when they met mine, grew distant, dull, like a fire that had burned out. I told myself it was temporary. She's overwhelmed, I thought. She's just busy. We're fine. But love doesn't make you question its presence. It doesn't leave you guessing if you're still wanted. Love is steady, present, undeniable. And she was fading. I confronted her one evening, my voice soft, almost afraid of the answer. "Are we all right?" She nodded, flashed a smile, said, "Of course we are." But there was a tremor in her words, a crack that betrayed her. I knew then, deep in my bones, that something was breaking. Still I stayed. I poured everything into her, believing if I loved her fiercely enough, she'd come back to me. I surprised her with flowers on a mundane Wednesday, scribbled notes, and hid them in her bag, planned evenings out even when her gaze stayed glued to her screen. I was fighting alone, clinging to a love that only I seemed to want. The truth is, you can't hold someone who's already letting go. Some days, she was the woman I fell for. Her laughter bright, her touch warm, giving me just enough to keep hoping. Other days, she was a shadow, physically there but unreachable, her heart 1,000 miles away. It wasn't just heartbreak. It was a slow, relentless ache, a wound reopened with every moment she slipped further. I lost myself in the process, my own joy dimming, my laughter fading, until I was a stranger to myself, existing only to keep her. One morning, as we sat across from each other, her hair tousled, her eyes still heavy with sleep, I looked at her and saw someone I no longer knew. Worse, I didn't know myself anymore. So I left, not with a fight or a grand speech, but quietly, gathering the fragments of my heart and walking away. Not because my love for her had died, but because I needed to save what was left of me. The silence that followed was crushing. I checked my phone compulsively, waiting for a sign she'd notice my absence. A call, a text, anything. Nothing came. The loneliness clawed at me, but over time, it softened into something else, freedom. I rediscovered pieces of myself I'd forgotten. Old passions, new connections, genuine laughter. I wasn't just surviving, I was rebuilding. Then one stormy night, the rain pounding like it wanted to drown the world, there was a knock at my door. I wasn't expecting anyone, and my heart stuttered as I opened it. There she stood, soaked to the bone, her face streaked with tears and smudged makeup, her eyes desperate, searching. She didn't greet me, didn't ask to come in. She just whispered, "I made a mistake." Her voice broke as she poured out her regret, saying she missed me, that she'd been foolish to let me go, that I was her safe place, her home. She pleaded for another chance, to start over, to write a new chapter together. For a moment, I was back in those sleepless nights, yearning for her to say these words. I'd imagined this scene, her returning, us falling into each other's arms as the rain fell. But I didn't move, because standing there, I understood something new. Love shouldn't need to lose you to know your worth. True love doesn't walk away and expect an open door when it decides to return. I still cared for her. Maybe I always would, but I cared for myself more now. I looked into her tear-filled eyes and spoke gently. "I hope you find what you're looking for. I hope you heal. But we're not who we were." She sobbed, promised to wait, swore she'd prove herself. And maybe she meant it. But love isn't always about second chances. Sometimes it's about recognizing when a story has ended, when the pages have turned. I chose myself that night. I closed the door softly, no anger, no resentment, just a quiet acceptance. She lingered outside, perhaps hoping I'd reconsider, but I didn't. Healing isn't about who comes back. It's about who you become when they're gone. And I had become someone who didn't need to chase love. Someone who didn't need to rewrite an old ending to believe in a new beginning. That night, under the relentless rain, I realized the greatest story I could ever tell was the one where I chose to keep myself whole.